Are these anxiety symptoms that you're experiencing taking over every aspect of your life? And does it feel like catastrophe is just over the horizon and it's inevitable that you will meet with that physical catastrophe? Well, friends, if you answered yes to these questions, you're in the right place, because today in this video, I'm going to dive deep into what's been unconsciously going on in your life that has brought on such a sensitized state, such a state of being hyperfixated on your anxiety symptoms and seeing these things travel from one area of your body to another, and having them strengthen at times where there's no real reason for these anxiety symptoms to even get stronger. Welcome to another important video on my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the #1 anxiety support channel on YouTube. And if you want to learn more about any of my anxiety recovery programs, just click here. Now, let me dive deep into my personal experience with these particular anxiety symptoms. I remember in those very, very dark days where I didn't even have the willpower or the energy to find a solution to them. I thought that my life was going to be accompanied by these strong physical symptoms each and every day, no matter what I did. And it felt like I was living in a little bubble. And the bubble wasn't very big. The bubble didn't really allow me to do many things, nor did it allow me to converse with people, nor did it allow me to experience experiences that were potentially uncertain. And so I lived in this bubble of anxiety symptoms, being completely fixated on them on a daily basis, and noticing how my body was buzzing all the time, noticing the dizziness that would hit me, noticing the vertigo that would come and go, noticing the lump in the throat and the problem I had with expressing myself, noticing the headaches and the fact that I was so mentally fixated on my personal physical health. And on I went. And today, I'm going to share with you some of the things that I realize, not only with my own experiences with these anxiety symptoms, but with the people that I've worked with over the last 15 years, helping them to heal this anxiety through my programs on a daily basis. The first thing is, when you are no longer distracting yourself by what the body is trying to relay to you, you will feel the symptoms. We're going to start here because in a person's life, there's a lot of distractions from being authentic. A lot of distractions from embracing their true selves and speaking through their true selves. We go about this lifetime projecting an identity that other people are comfortable with. And if other people are comfortable with it and our life has some kind of a flow to it, even though we're suffering on a daily basis, we tend to accept that. And we never take the time to go, you know what? I'm not really this person, I'm that person. And so when you stop distracting yourself from your other relationships, from your career, from your job, from all your to-do lists, from the events that you attend on a daily basis, from the fact that you're going to go get your hair cut, or you're going to go fix the car, or you're going to go do this or do that, or always focused on what the next thing to do is in the future. Once you stop those distractions, and once you have a moment to yourself, these symptoms start to show up. And these symptoms are coming from a place of the subconscious mind, the inner child saying, hey, hello, We've been stuffing these things deep down. These are related to feelings and emotions that have been suppressed for so many years based on past experiences, childhood experiences, and generational traumas. And so when these symptoms show up, the first thing we tend to do is find another distraction. Now we've got our smartphones, which I actually call your dumb phone. There are dumb phones out there, right, known as dumb phones, but I call the smartphones dumb phones, right? And so we go to the dumb phone as a distraction. And because we're always in a state of fight or flight, we're trying to find a quick fix for the anxiety symptom from that place of fight or flight. And if we continue to look to heal these anxiety symptoms and the origins of our anxiety from that place of fight or flight, then that's just a trick, isn't it? That's a trick coming from your lower self, your inner child, saying, oh yeah, the solution is over there. Yeah, it really is. Next thing you know, you realize that there are no quick fixes. Nothing seems to be working for you because you're not coming at it from a different place, an intuitive, subtle, patient, compassionate, and gentle place. No, you're coming at your solutions from a place of franticness, from a place of it has to change now. So it's important to understand when it comes to these symptoms that when you start to be by yourself and you adopt maybe meditation, or you're not so caught up in work, or you feel like the TV is off and you've got a moment of silence to yourself and you're not distracted by anything you have to do, in those very moments these symptoms will arise at a greater strength, because these symptoms are showing up so that at a conscious level you can begin to have an answer to what the symptoms are asking. These anxiety symptoms are not there to sabotage your life. These anxiety symptoms are there asking you for guidance. And the way we guide it is in different ways. We can guide these symptoms mentally by replacing one thought with another. Yes. But towards the end of this video, I'm going to give you the key practice that I want you to practice on a daily basis and not fiddle with a million different things. But first and foremost, we just have to understand that when you're no longer distracted, the symptoms get stronger. And then, as you feel the symptoms, you will begin mindfully paying more attention to them, right? Which in turn strengthens them and encourages them to stay. So, when you become mindful of these symptoms in those moments when you're not distracted, right, and you're paying attention to them. Is my heart beating faster? Is it beating harder? My legs feel like they're jelly, right? They feel really like they're going to give out at any given moment. The dizziness, it feels like I can't even stand. On and on with the stories we go. This is called branching. You're branching from one idea to the next, right? And so the more mindful attention that you pay to these symptoms without any kind of guidance, the longer they'll be there. Because the symptoms are going, oh, mindfully he's paying attention to these symptoms from a place of fear. Therefore, the fear that is showing up through the symptom is justified. When you pay attention to these symptoms from a different perspective, though, when you start to go, hey, there you are. You want to come with me for this day? We've got some stuff to do. Come along, that's fine, right? Or you watch them like you're watching paint dry. And after a few seconds, you get bored and disinterested. Now you're no longer putting more logs on the fire, adding more fear to the original unconscious, subconscious fear. This is important because so many of you in the comment section, from what I've seen, are coming from a place of franticness in relation to your symptoms. But what if you came towards those same symptoms from a place of disinterest? I'll be talking about it later on, the key solution later on in this video. And then, As our attention to these symptoms turn into a full-blown pattern of fixation, we begin getting caught up in the web of what ifs. The web of what ifs. What if this happens to me? What if that happens to me? Just in case that doesn't happen to me, I'm going to go get a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a 50th doctor's approval that my blood tests are right and my organs are running smoothly, they're functioning well, yada, yada, yada. And you go get everything checked out from your little toe to your pinky finger to your left ear to the top of your head, and so on and so forth. And the doctor says, well, nothing here, right? Nothing here. You can chalk this up as being potentially nerve related to nerves. Your nervous system is dysregulated. You've got chronic fatigue and you're constantly fighting through the day, right? No longer nurturing yourself, but you're just coming from a place of fight or flight in relation to taking care of yourself, and that's just adding to more anxiety and more chronic fatigue. And we have to understand that these what ifs can turn into so whats. Because as we look back at those months and years of fixation on these symptoms, we start to go, wow, I see a pattern here. I see a real pattern. I see a mental pattern where I'm absolutely catastrophizing when it comes to me feeling these anxiety symptoms. I feel an emotional pattern where I start to feel really revved up, right? And emotionally I start to feel like I'm in danger, right? It's like I've got a bunch of tigers around me and I've got no spear to protect myself, okay? Physically, you start to feel like, oh, there's a pattern there because I'm always bracing for the worst, right? Bracing for the worst. And so you pick up on these mental, emotional, physical patterns, and you never get a chance to actually come at this from a spiritual perspective saying, hey, great God, whatever that may be, you take it from me, okay? I've done everything I can. I've exhausted all my resources. I've got no willpower left. Okay, work with me, right? And from that point, good things can happen. And then we then begin focusing more on each future moment and look to protect the body through the fixated mind. Therefore, no longer living authentically in the present. If you're not living in the present in a way where you are involved in what's taking place around you, right? Not just present, fixated on what could potentially happen in a catastrophic way internally. No. We're talking about being present with the things around you, with the things your senses can pick up. That will bring you to a place where you can change your perceptions over your symptoms. But anxiety symptom people tend to feel like if they don't let go of that mental fixation over their symptoms, that something could go wrong, right? The truth is, when you let go of the mental fixation over your symptoms, something will go right. Yeah. And when that thing goes right, it starts to feel like you're very vulnerable at the start, right? It's like, this is a weird feeling. It's almost like you've been protecting a child for a very long period of time, right? Really protecting that child, your body, through your symptoms and mental fixation. And all of a sudden, the child is getting further and further away from you because now you're moving towards a new direction. You're starting to trust. You're starting to let go. You're starting to feel like you can embrace the uncertainties of life. And now you're going, child, right? And you're kind of putting your hand out there going, I need to come back to you. And then all of a sudden you start that fixation again, the patterns of anxiety symptoms and so on, right? But in truth, it is this kind of letting go feeling that does create freedom within, right? Because the overprotection over the child is not making the child any smarter. It's not making the child any better. It's not creating safety around the child, right? By overprotecting the inner child, metaphorically, you're actually adding more stress. And that's very important to remember. At this point, we are enveloped within the addiction to suffering. Okay? We are enveloped within the addiction to suffering, and we find that suffering in creative ways. We find the suffering through scrolling through news feeds on our social media, wasting hours going, oh my God, I thought I'd just be on my phone for 5 minutes. It's been 3 hours. Next thing you know, you've just unconsciously programmed yourself to be even more fixated on your anxiety symptoms, because now you're approaching life from a very low vibration, a place of fear, a place of victimhood, a place of apathy, a place of negativity. We don't want that. We just don't want that. So much of this anxiety symptom and anxiety healing is coming from a place of being more mindful as you go about the day. Now, here's the key. The key to approaching your anxiety symptoms in a way where you will begin to not only heal them through mind, but heal them through emotion, heal them through the physicality. The key is to adopt a dispassionate, is that a word? A dispassionate view around the symptoms and accompanying ideas, to begin to identify with being awareness. Awareness, nothing more and nothing less. Symptoms, when the symptoms show up, there isn't passion, there's dispassion. You're a dispassionate person when it comes to your anxiety symptoms. There isn't passion. When it comes to the ideas that accompany these symptoms, there's no longer passion. No, right? There's dispassion. Yeah, right? And who am I in these particular chapters of healing as I'm going forward? You are awareness. You are not anxiety. You are not the label that was given to you, right? You are awareness. And what that means is you must begin practicing being awareness. And what that means is sometimes throughout the day, you close your eyes and you become aware of bodily symptoms. You become aware of the mental fixation that wants to come in, the ideas that float in and float out. You become aware of the changes in emotions that you feel. You become aware of the sounds that you hear, the smell that's coming into your nose. You are awareness. That's what you are. And the more often you can associate with being or identifying with awareness, I am awareness, nothing more, the faster you're going to move away from the mental, emotional, and physical sides of anxiety. And this is the truth. You only really need one technique, and my surrender sessions will help guide you on a daily basis towards really feeling like you are awareness, right? This doesn't happen overnight. As much as your subconscious, as much as your lower self would like things to happen overnight, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not meant to happen overnight, because there are lessons that you need to learn along the way. So my friends, this was a brief deep dive into your anxiety symptoms, what's really going on. So now it's your turn. In the comments section, I want you to comment on your biggest epiphany, your biggest more than anxiety moment from this particular video that I've just made. Comment. I'll do my best to comment back, and let's all kind of engage with one another to help one another, to come from a place of deep understanding, because so many of us have been in this place. Starting today, you adopt the mindset of dispassion towards your mind and body in relation to the anxiety symptoms. And if you do this, when you do this on a daily basis, you're going to start separating yourself from that sensitivity, and I promise that's where healing lies, my friends. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Yes, the new book is out. 101 Short Lessons for an Anxiety-Free Life. Pick it up today on Amazon. And if you want to learn more about the #1 rated anxiety recovery programs available online today, just click here and I'll see you soon. Keep going. You're doing an amazing job. Bye-bye.